For now, our MMA fans that are watching as well, they're going to want an update on George. How'd you see him when he spent the week over here? How's he doing?
He's doing very well. We worked on the stand-up game, and he's getting better and better all the time. He's a little bigger, a little stronger right now than he has been in the past because this fight's going to be a little higher weight class, so a little more weight on him, and he's punching a lot better, a lot more power. And he did really, really well in training camp. And I'm going to be heading up to Montreal pretty soon. And for 6 weeks, I'm going to spend 3 days a week in Montreal and 4 days here.
Oh, wow.
So
that's a first. That's the first time you've been able to go with him.
So he wants me in the corner. He wants me.
So finally, I think you're going to be in the corner, right?
He wants me in the ring in between rounds. And I says, I have no problem. I says, so he's doing really, really, really well. And, he's in with a big, tough guy. And it should be action-packed. Should be fun. I'm excited. My first UFC fight. Because I don't hate either sport. I mean, the thing is, I just don't think they mix that well. But the thing is, I like combat sports. I like competition, and that's the way I see it. I mean,
good fight's a good fight. You can't hate on a good fight, you know?
A lot of boxing people want me to hate MMA, though. Yeah. And I said, why? I said, just like a good fight's a good fight. If you see it, it's good, and that's why I like to teach them stand-up, because usually the stand-up is the best part of the fight. But, they have the submission holds and so forth, and they're all really good at that. And George's number one thing is takedowns, and, he's very good at what he does. And I'm not going to say you're a great boxer, go out there and outbox this guy.
Yeah, I think that's the problem sometimes with a lot of the MMA fighters. They fall in love with that.
Ronda Rousey, someone told her that she was a good boxer, and they lied to her. Why didn't she go back to what she normally does? She was very successful at that. And I said, look, she's not even going to the ground at all with these people, and that's what she's won all her fights on. I was very surprised that they took that route, but the thing is, with George, I won't make that mistake, and I know his boxing ability, and I know how far it can take him, and he's improved quite a bit, but again, it's not his number one game though.
Have you seen tape of Bisping? And if you have, what do you make of what he's shown so far in prior fights and the tape? I know he's been here before too as well at the wild card, so what do you say about all that?
He's a tough guy. He comes to fight. I don't think he's the best athlete in the world. I think George is a much better athlete, and I think that'll be the difference in the fight. His athleticism will take him through the fight better, but it's not going to be easy though. That's for sure. And the first round, I'm a little bit worried about, because George is always a little bit stiff in the first round, and then he gets into the fight as the rounds go on and so forth. So early, I'm a little bit worried, but I'm going to warm up really good in the dressing room and go through their routines of what the UFC fighters have to do to go before they enter the ring.
When you look at him compared to when he went to you maybe 2-3 years ago, when he was on the fence about coming back, do you see a big change there in his attitude and his energy and his mentality?
Not a big change. He's always known he wasn't done. Yeah. He wasn't satisfied. I know this because he trains every day of his life. Even during that time period that he was supposed to be maybe retired and so forth, he still trains every day of his life. No matter what he does the night before, if it's a night out with his wife, a girlfriend, or
don't get him in trouble, Freddie.
Yeah. The thing is, the next day, no matter what it was, he trains every day of his life. And I said, do you ever take a rest? Don't you get a little bit maybe bored, or just maybe feel your body needs rest? No. He works every day. No matter what. And then when he's in training camp, now that all the rules go into play, there's no nothing. There's it's hard work and no fooling around and no no drinking, no dancing, no girls, no boys, no nothing.
No, I remember reading an interview that he did in which he said that at times when he would get into camp, he'd become so obsessed with the opponent, it'd be like a hyper obsession. Like he'd always be thinking about it, that it would really hamper him a little bit going into fights. You ever seen that in play with not only him but other fighters? And what's a way to like alleviate that?
Yeah, the thing is, you just got to really talk to them and get inside their head and assure them that what the game plan is going to prevail and beat anything he can do. And I've seen it in boxing before, and I've seen guys. They get so absorbed in watching tapes of their opponents that they basically fall in love with the guy's style and so forth, and how can I beat that style and so forth. But then you got to sit down with him and watch it with him and explain to him the mistakes he's making and what factors will work well for you and what won't work for you. So it's just it's a mental game, and it's just part of sports, and just people get it very anxious in sports. They look forward to these moments and so forth, but sometimes I look forward to this moment, but what if I lose?
You can't think like that though, because it'll
But they have that doubt at some point in time, but that usually leaves early in training camp, and then as camp gets better and better, and things start clicking together, then everything comes into play.